So, Senate Bill 72, in short, this bill seeks to create an ICE program at the state level. That's essentially all it does. This is an ICE program inside the state of Missouri, okay? So much like ICE, we will have the Department of Public Safety conduct investigations. Much like ICE, there will be a tip line that the Department of Public Safety can use to initiate investigations.
While the deportation of undocumented immigrants and violent offenders who have illegally crossed U.S. borders is lawful, I am concerned about the trajectory of these actions. Intruding into churches and other sacred spaces and spending billions of dollars to deport disciplined immigrant and migrant workers is dangerous. The federal government is wastefully spending taxpayer dollars on activities that invade privacy, erode boundaries between church and state, and threaten the rights of the people of these United States. These executive actions and those who support them encourage xenophobic prejudices and put the Fourth Amendment rights of U.S. residents and citizens at risk. They also encourage state and regional governments to endorse bills dividing the nation against itself. Missouri's SB 72 bounty hunting bill would reward Missourians with $1,000 for each undocumented immigrant they turn in or report to authorities. Missouri's SB 58 fine and imprisonment bill would allow the state to fine undocumented immigrants $10,000 for being in Missouri and imprison repeat offenders for up to 7 years. This is an egregious and abusive way to treat people seeking a safe haven or a better life in these United States. The United States has long been a land envied for its opportunities. The American dream is not being destroyed by humble immigrants working hard for a safer or better life. We, the people of these United States, are destroying our economic upward mobility and political representation with our endless excuses and scapegoating. Our own greed and sloth sowed the seeds we now reap. Immigrants serve as one more convenient scapegoat. Allowing our government to travel too far down this road of search, seizure, and sentencing risks a quick slide towards a surveillance state of sycophantic sociopathy and secret police. While I feel we have yet to reach the threshold of tyranny, these xenophobic executive actions and prejudiced bills are taking us closer to a point of no return. Please do your best to ensure that we never get there by 1. Resisting the search, seizure, and sentencing of undocumented immigrants with no criminal record or history, and 2. Voicing your opposition to Missouri's SB 58 and SB 72 bills, which will only accelerate prejudice, division, and distrust among our people.
A woman taken away by law enforcement, the city posting this to Facebook saying these aren't their police officers.
Does your neighbor have a violent history? Is she wanted for anything?
No.
We need more deportations, a lot more deportations, and that's what we're working on.
That's why she offers this advice on what to carry to prove their status, even if undocumented.
Utility bills, it's going to be bank statements, it's going to be memberships to the gym, Costco, AAA, whatever shows that you have been present in the United States.
We have too quickly forgotten the history of chattel slavery in the American South and Japanese internment camps in these United States. We can and will do terrible things to each other when we cease to see each other as human. And we will cease to see each other as human when we fail to treat each other with dignity and respect.
200,000 people were imprisoned between 1936 and 1945. First, of course, Germans, the political opposition, communists, social democrats, conservatives, men of the churches. Then also so-called anti-socials, homosexuals, and after the Reichskristallnacht, the night of broken glass, in November 1938, 6,000 Jews were sent to Sachsenhausen.
First, they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. Martin Niemöller. What is happening to our highest American values of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, written into our Declaration of Independence? Do we highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God,
shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
What of the words inscribed inside the Statue of Liberty in 1903?
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Do we still dream that our children
will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character?
Do we still
hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal,
that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Our predecessors professed these values in some of their best and worst moments. It is our job to hold fast to them now. We should only seek to deport undocumented immigrants with a criminal history that warrants their removal. Undocumented immigrants without criminal histories who cross U.S. borders in search of a better life and a better nation should not be sought out and rounded up like dangerous criminals. They should not be sought out based upon our failure to deny them entry into this nation, but based upon their failure to adhere to the laws of this nation after they entered it. In the afterword to Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, William Winslade writes, Frankl also uses moral exhortation, however, to call attention to the gap between what one is and what one should become, and the idea that man is responsible and must actualize the potential meaning in his life. He sees freedom and responsibility as two sides of the same coin. When he spoke to American audiences, Frankl was fond of saying, I recommend that the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast be supplemented by a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast. We, the people of these United States, privileged to have been born here to our mothers, or born here by others, must recognize that we are not solely responsible for our successes. Our troubles and the troubles of other nations are also our responsibility. We have benefited from the lands and resources we previously took or acquired from other nations, and we continue to benefit from holding the world's reserve currency. We have been granted that responsibility because we were previously responsible. The so-called greatest generation demonstrated their responsibility by innovating and sacrificing their time, efforts, resources, and lives in defense of freedom. Are we now going to scapegoat other nations and their undocumented immigrants for the debt burden that we sowed with our own greed and laziness? Would our immigrant ancestors encourage us to blame our problem on others or take responsibility for those problems? Those undocumented immigrants who cannot or will not take responsibility for the liberty that they obtain in this country will reveal themselves. Seeking to search for, seize, and sentence undocumented immigrants with no criminal history will increase our national debt while distracting us from our own lack of productivity. While it may not be illegal, it is unwise and irresponsible. We residents and citizens of these United States must work to educate ourselves, increase our own productivity, and realize the highest values of our forefathers. We are better than this. If we wish to maintain our liberties, we must prove our responsibilities to ourselves and the world.